Good evening and welcome to Going for Two. This is the only YouTube podcast in human record history to feature a male and female host drinking our way through the important topics of the day, as long as they touch the football world, but not in that way. Tonight we'll talk about receiver rants, nine-figure quarterback contracts, and once again, I'll keep this from last week, don't bet when you're drunk. So I am Zach Law, and this is still Morrowind, Sharona. June 22nd, 2017. A non-Wednesday special edition, and I believe Sharona could come on the Titans team, be all-pro receiver. Got to stick 'em.
Don't get me started.
We're gonna get you started. That's why we're here. Like, let's just have Sharona be kind of like whatever. No, that's not what this show is.
First of all, I just have to say that Twitter has to have the worst management team in the whole wide world, because I haven't been tweeting, I haven't been on social media that much, and I was like, for a lot of reasons, and I cleaned out my following list a little bit. I was going to do it some more, and then I logged on, and like one day this week I was like, I should really tweet. Oh, we've got a cat, hang on.
he's going to make a cameo.
He is not
That's
happy.
Soy. He might destroy my earbuds before he
Soy.
leaves. He's like, I want to hang out with you, but not on the show.
So
we know Twitter sucks. What's new?
I logged on and I was like, what is this fuckery? It looks like Facebook.
Huh. See, that's my problem. My problem with Twitter is I use Hootsuite, so people talk about stuff on Twitter and I have no idea. Like, I know they changed the likes. Like, they used to be likes and then they're hearts, and I didn't really get that, but yeah, people complain. Like, Sharona invited me to a group DM, and it was like, I didn't actually have that on Hootsuite. I was like, what are you talking about? I've never seen that before.
Yeah, you were
technologically advanced over here.
You were MIA. I need to start doing some mocks. I know the Scotty Fish Bowl is right around the corner. I'm looking at the date. It's the 22nd, and I really need to get my ass in gear.
Oh, we'll get you caught up on that. So tonight's guest is another Going for Two Fantasy League veteran, co-host of Under the Helmet, writer for Under the Helmet, fantasy football fan, and she likes other sports. So maybe we'll even talk about other sports. Doubtful. Sure. She also made a bet with Drunken Sharona during our auction last August. I was the only one who didn't make a bet that she lost.
Did not make a bet with.
I could have bet her the sun was going to rise tomorrow. I don't think so. I'm betting against it. Anyway, so welcome back to the show, Katie Flower.
Well, thank you very much. And I think I was pretty drunk when I made that bet as well. So I was so drunk when I was drafting that team, I didn't even realize that it was best ball, like an MFL 10, and I only drafted one defense, and I still ended up winning the whole thing.
Oh, see, there you go.
You're the champions, huh?
I went with the zero defense technique.
You and Lisa are like it's Lisa.
Oh, are you gonna say lucky? Go! Say lucky. Say lucky.
She complains about injuries, but
Oh right, yeah. Cabo curse or Cabo curse.
It was all luck. It was 100% luck. You're right.
Yeah. But anyway.
Well, it was approximately 17% having the two of us in there, although I think I actually did okay in that one. I think I came in like second. But
I was definitely writing checks my bank account couldn't get.
And yes, Zach, I do think that you came in second. And
I feel like
that's because I came in.
Because we did the auction 2 years ago, and I just sucked. Like, I spent like 50% of my money on like two running backs who both got hurt like in week 2. And then I had nothing, and for some reason, my team kind of made a run toward the end.
Where'd I come in? I think I was
second,
like
which
middle.
I really didn't notice.
Okay. I think we did winner take all, which
I just know that 11 teams were behind me.
Well, see,
that's
you are the fantasy football queen. There's no doubt.
So let me have to get you a trophy too, because I'm getting one for Dawn at some point. So.
No, it's all right. The money was fine.
Get a trophy that.
Can I play MFLs yet?
Have you?
Well,
I'm in Georgia and I can't.
Or are you in one of those states where you can't do it?
I'm in one of those states.
Okay.
Where my politicians are wanting their kickback.
What are the rules? What are the rules in Texas? I just moved back to Texas, and I know I could when I was in Arkansas. I hope I still can.
don't know. There's definitely more states. I know in Massachusetts they can't. I don't know about, is it Maryland?
It's all
It
those
seems like
northern.
it's 10 to 20 states. I mean, it's not small. Like all of a sudden, thanks to them doing all those commercials, almost as much as we had commercials for our recent election here, just nonstop fantasy daily. Yep. You're gonna get rich, and they're like, wait a second, can we get some of that?
Yeah,
sweet,
exactly.
Sweet cash.
Now, since we're doing Kit Kats, I've got a Kit Kat here too.
Oh man,
hello,
I'm so
hello,
jelly.
hello.
I can't have an animal because I travel too much. I love pets.
This is my little sweetie poo. This is Iggy.
See,
She's
Iggy's so
used...
quiet. She's just so... Zach's cat is just...
So it was like, fuck off. Neither parent was home. No.
Zach will tell you, Iggy is like, she likes to be on camera, but she'll get sneaky and get up here and just be like, just like doing around and everything.
The rule is anybody does a pet, it's going to probably appear on the show at some point. So the big news today was Derek Carr. I don't know if it's official. It sounds like he has signed. It's a 5-year, $125 million. Now,
that's some serious cash.
I remember there was a time when like Washington every year would sign a guy to like $100 million contract, but it really didn't. Donovan McNabb sign like a $100 million contract with Washington that was actually like 8, and they got it after a year. I feel like with quarterbacks, there's a really good chance that money is going to be either met or exceeded. Like by year 3, the amount quarterbacks make, I think. Isn't Matthew Stafford next? I feel like he's due. He's either a year or 2 away.
It sounds right.
Well, no, he
or did he just get paid?
Yeah, he got an extension that was megabucks a few years ago that really caused the Lions some cash flow issues, but I'm sure he's up for another one soon.
Well,
this was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Stafford could finish his career with like 0 playoff wins, but he could make the most money of any quarterback ever.
No, Sam Bradford holds
Bradford's got that.
Well, Sam Bradford has that. If you look at the number of games he's played versus how much he's made.
That's true, yeah. Money per game, you get a point. I was just thinking, and I think he might, I didn't even think about Bradford, but the fact that Stafford was #1 pick during the Giant contract era, and he's been good enough. Like he's been like at least top half, maybe top 30 quarterback in the league. He had to actually show he's a good quarterback because Calvin Johnson was gone. Like, funny how that happens with guys sometimes. Like, oh crap, I have to play quarterback now and have a giant, Megatron catch every pass.
Hey, that reminds me. I've got a bet for Sharona.
Uh-oh.
I bet you Kenny Golladay from the Lions has more fantasy points this year than your boy Tajay Sharp.
Oh, I would probably not want that.
I think the 3 of us might have the same amount of fantasy points as Tajay. The way things are going, they might be. Poor Tajay last year.
He's probably not going to make the roster.
Exactly. Is he still Tabe to you, or is he like?
He is. I feel badly for him. Yeah, shit happens.
I bought him for a 3rd last year and sold him for a 1st right when he was starting at the preseason, when he was really starting to look like he was going to be the wide receiver 1. That was sometimes you got to strike while the fire is hot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, those narrow windows. I'm trying to remember who that running back was for the Packers who was good for like 4 games, and I managed to trade him for like a 2nd-round rookie pick. And this was like, I don't know, 10 years ago.
I wasn't playing fantasy back then.
Was it the guy who...
I can do the old one. That's cool.
Became a doctor or something?
Oh, I'm older than you. I just haven't been playing as long as you.
But you've surpassed...
Unless you count how many leagues. Unless you can count how many leagues that I'm in and then divide them up over the years that I didn't get to play.
Well, if you write for a site, or if you do a podcast isn't just a drunken ramble like us, you have to be at least double digits, right? I mean, that seems like that's a requirement. You have to like actively fight to not be in so many leagues that you explode, right?
I was in 42 leagues last year, all dynasty leagues, and this year I'm back down to 38. And part of it was commissioners didn't re-up the league, and part of it was I quit a couple that I really absolutely couldn't stand. And tried to.
I don't know how you did it. I really don't know how.
Well,
you did it.
it's first of all, it's nice that with MFL you can check a player across all your leagues to see if he's on the waiver wire or if he's somebody that like who owns him, so you can trade. So that's nice. And then also on Sunday morning when I'm sitting there waiting for the games to begin, setting the lineups is pretty easy. You just do one and then the next, go alphabetically forwards or backwards, however. And then the last thing is the scoring. You can look at all your live scoring for every MFL game all at one time. So it's pretty easy to update. And then the tough part is when you've got waiver wires, like some are at noon, some are at 1, some are at, that's the hard part is the waiver. But I've gotten my teams to the point in Dynasty where if I miss out on a guy on waivers, it's like not as important as year 1 or year 2 when you're trying to start up.
So if I asked who your number 1 owned player in Dynasty was, would you have it right away?
Allen Robinson, probably. I did a stat at one point. So far this year in rookie drafts, my top 2 guys that I've been getting, and I still have 7 more rookie drafts to go. My top 2 rookies this year are Alvin Kamara and Adam Shaheen. They just happen to be falling to me at every single rookie draft. I own like 90% share on those 2 guys.
Yeah, right. Kamara is like a late first round, early second.
Anywhere from 107 to 203 in a 12-team league.
I had nothing in my Dynasty league at tight end, and I think I got like 6 rookies. I mean, I ended up getting Njoku, luckily, early in the second round, and then Shaheen was like in the 4th.
Yep.
I grabbed like Bucky Hodges, and I actually got Kittle, and now they're talking about Niners. He might start. I'm like, okay, well, at least that's a functional player because I think right now my starting tight end is it might be one of the rookies.
Well, this is the year of the tight end. I mean, they're so athletic. The top 3, O.J. Howard, David Njoku, and Evan Ingram, all 3 are like Evan Ingram is faster than all but I think 4 wide receivers in this class. It's insane.
Wow.
Well, what's your thought on Ingram's kind of fit with the Giants? Because it seems like he's almost basically like a slot receiver, but they already have like 3 guys who seem like they're going to play a lot.
Right.
Can he pretend to block enough to be a starting tight end this year? I mean, they have to use him.
They're going to use him. I think he's probably going to be anywhere between 450 and 600 yards this year. And,
you think? Wow.
Yeah, probably so. And somewhere in the range of 3 to 7 touchdowns, which isn't a lot, but for a rookie tight end, that's not bad. I don't think he's going to be so much a hand-in-the-dirt blocker this year. He's going to have to learn that part of the game. But I was at the Senior Bowl, and I got to see him during practice. He was outworking just about all the other tight ends out there, and he gets open all the time. So they will find a way to use him. He's very talented. It's going to take him a while to get the nuances of the real true tight end position. But in the meantime, they'll find a way to get him some targets.
I will bet you that he will not match that production.
You don't think he'll get...
How many bets are we going to make in this episode?
I know, right?
It's going to be fun.
450 was my minimum. Are you saying that he's going to get under 450?
Yes.
Okay. All right, you heard it, Zach.
I think he'll get... I think he'll...
It doesn't matter. You got the under.
I'll take the under on that, and definitely the under on the touchdowns.
Was this a...
Well, I said 3 to 7, so under 3. He's going to be under 3 touchdowns.
Maybe 3. I could say 3 to 4. He might luck up and get 3
have
or
touchdowns,
4.
right?
Well, then again, with Eli saying no, don't get a touchdown.
Yeah.
When they're at the goal line, it's like don't score. It's too soon.
I still have that New York Post cover. You're the one that says
Eli Manning sucks.
No, well, it wasn't that one. It was something like "Don't score." They're expecting it, or something.
Yeah, exactly. That was just.
Thing.
I was just like yelling at the television. I'm not a Giants fan by any means. I'm a my whole life, and everybody's like, you can't have two favorite teams. Yes, I can. I've got an AFC team and I've got an NFC team. I grew up in Vermont.
As many teams as you want.
Thank you. I grew up in Vermont, and so I'm a New England Patriots fan from day one. Yes. But the Patriots weren't on my television. The Cowboys were. They were America's team. I grew up in the 60s and 70s, and so I saw the Cowboys on television more than the Patriots. I didn't get to go to my first Patriots game until I was in college, after college. And so I've loved the Cowboys and Patriots my whole life. And now I live just outside of Dallas. I've been to a couple games live when I first lived in Texas, so it's pretty nice. And I got to see them play against each other last year. I wore an Emmitt Smith jersey and a Patriots hat, and everybody was like, that's one confused fan. And I'm like, I'm not confused.
Yeah.
My team's going to win.
Yeah. So where did you live in Arkansas?
I lived just outside of Little Rock.
Okay.
And I was there for 3.5 years. And before that, I had lived in the Dallas area. So I've got a lot of friends. I moved back here just this weekend. So I'm still in the midst of unpacking. Hence, there's nothing on the back wall. There's no art hanging or anything like that. I haven't even unpacked yet.
We're just happy to have you. We're just
thank you.
Yeah, I was that you were able to join us.
I was pleased to be asked.
And we're hitting the ground running, so we haven't even had a chance to discuss, the important topics like the beer. So I found this one again. I had a beer budget this week, so I could only get so many. But Double Brown Throwdown from Rogue and
that's
Seattle.
A nice one.
And this is one I've only had once, and it was so heavy. But I'm more into the darker beer. So Dogfish Head Palo Santo Marron, which is like wood-aged brown ale. It's like 12%. And I bought a couple of beers this week that were like heavy hitters, and I'm like, I'm going to save one for tonight. So that's the one. And if I like it, I can always get more. But Sharona, you have like more than one beer, I heard.
I'm rubbing off on you, Zach. Yes, I've got the milk stout from last week that I'm drinking in my lovely Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, new trailer.
And because, as you guys know, I'm quitting, really scaling back. I've done pretty well, but I've got
not a good thing.
I've got. I know, right? What a quitter! I've got the backup, which is, of course, Old Faithful.
There you go. I wasn't told that it was beer night, so I'm drinking alcohol, but mine is Mighty Swell. It is a sparkling cocktail with real fruit juice. It is peach flavored and 5% alcohol, but it is so fucking hot here in Texas. It is almost 100 degrees, and so I've been working outside all day long on the patio doing my kitchen island, and I had to have something that would just quench my thirst. This is doing it. It's nice.
I grew up in Austin. It is hot as fuck down there.
Yeah,
it's none of this dry heat stuff. It's humid. No. It's about 55% humidity here right now.
Yeah, we're having, I guess there's that tropical storm, so we've had kind of rain all week, and it's been in the 80s, and I'm like, I know we're going to get those 90s with 90% humidity starting next week because it's officially summer, everybody. I hate how it's like late June. I'm like, we've had 90-degree temperature since May, but it has been a little under that. But I don't know if you follow the street free agent, Brian Quinlan. He's not really a fantasy writer anymore, but he is big in the beer scene locally. And I guarantee Dallas is not a bad city for that.
And just so that you know, I do have a 6-pack of Sierra Nevada Torpedo, the double IPA. It's really good, and if I would have known it was beer night, that's what I would be drinking right now.
Well, I'm sure that I dropped the ball there, and I'm sorry.
Next time is not as strong as I thought it was, but man, if I want, I don't really like IPAs, but if I'm gonna drink one, I'm gonna drink one that smacks you in the face, and Torpedo is like, a freaking
it's awesome.
Bomb.
I love it.
So do we like the Derek Carr contract, and do we think? I mean, it's almost like everybody's got to rate Derek Carr like higher than he is because he's played 2 years. He's had 2 really good years. He had a very untimely injury, much like Mariota last year. But he's clearly worth the money, right?
This is he's going into his 4th season, right? Wasn't he at 2014?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of those. Now it's if you're a rookie, you can't negotiate till after your 3rd year. So yeah, he's
right.
But he's a second-round pick, so the 5th-year option was not available. So you don't leave a quarterback with 1 year to go, and usually don't leave a coach with 1 year to go.
Right. I think that they had to do it. They had to lock him up. He is their franchise quarterback. He is special. Fantasy-wise, in a super flex, I would take him anywhere in the second round, even early third if he slipped that far. He's somewhere around the turn, usually between the late first, early second, mid-second of a super flex startup. But I was able to get him in the third round of a recent super flex 12 team. So that was just like really nice.
Yeah, the super flex is going to be important because we are both, I think we're all in the Scott Fishbowl, right?
Yes.
And I'm doing a mock. I did one mock and I didn't have my draft slot yet. And I kind of lost track of how it was going. So I asked to get another one. All you have to really do is say, hey, hashtag SFB7, thank you, Scott Fish, for only having one number in the hashtag this year.
Yeah.
And somebody reached out to me and I had the second pick. And I'm trying things. Like last year I took Zeke #2 and that really worked. And this year it does seem like, because you get point per first down, that like David Johnson and Le'Veon Bell and Zeke are really highly rated. But I went ahead and took Aaron Rodgers just as a test because I'm kind of interested with the 2 pick. Like I'm not sure how many quarterbacks will be taken between pick 2 and pick 211.
Right.
It's going to be a lot. Like
that's a long wait.
You super flex and you see it, you're like, oh yeah, quarterbacks are popular. Plus passing touchdowns are worth more than any other touchdown.
Yeah.
So that even weighs it more. Like, well, the 4th round, it's going to be like Andy Dalton time, right?
Yeah. Yeah. If you're lucky that he's still there in the 4th round, that's what's crazy. Every draft is different, but a lot of times when you're getting Andy Dalton in round 3 and you're thankful because of the quarterback run that you even got him, that's kind of sick. I think I got the 7th spot, which is not bad in a 12 team. I like that. You're not too far from any end of the round and you're right kind of in the middle. I like that.
I think I've got 6 or 7.
Okay.
I'm not a huge fan of, I kind of like being down at the turn. I kind of like being later on, but I don't care.
If I can't trade,
I'm probably going to fuck it up anyway.
Then I
so
like
it
being in
doesn't
the middle.
matter, right? I mean, like last
hey,
year,
there's the right attitude for you.
like last year, my first pick was Nuke. We saw how that turned out. And my team was just ended up being such a I had Golden Tate. I forget where I got him. And it was later on, but it was, my team was not very good. Let's just put it that way.
Probably started off okay.
Trying to contemplate. See,
I got so desperate. I picked up Case Keenum.
That is desperate.
Quarterbacks are the pulse, though. I got lucky because I took, I think, Rivers maybe like in the 4th or 5th, and then whatever else I picked sucked, and I got Dak with like all my free agent money because we drafted so early. I remember making fun of people taking Dak like in the 18th round MFL 10s when Tony Romo was still at a pulse.
Right.
Boy, that worked out. I mean, Dak's probably going to go like in the 2nd round.
SEC, baby. SEC.
I mean,
SEC.
Man, they wiped Missouri, floor with Missouri when they played, but who doesn't?
Yeah, that's true.
I was a little annoyed, but I actually had to agree. Barrett Sallee's like a local guy, and he writes about the SEC. He talked about how Texas A&M felt like more of an SEC school than on my alma mater, Missouri. And I had to think, yeah, they filled a 100,000-person stadium, but they haven't gone any championship games yet. But if Missouri had been correctly put in the West, they wouldn't have come within 10 miles of the championship game. So that's just a quick SEC, well, SEC shade, right? Since Texas is SEC country now.
Well, I'm a Razorback fan, so.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Are you all right?
I was when I first moved south. It was in 2005, and I was a free agent because up in Vermont, believe it or not, they don't have a D1 college football program anywhere to be seen. So I didn't have a favorite college football team. I did like Tennessee for a while when Peyton Manning played there, Sharona, just to let you know.
Who wouldn't?
And right. I also was a big Troy Aikman fan when he played for UCLA. I was more of I like the player, so I'm going to like the team back then.
That's
when I first
how
moved
I am
south,
now. Yeah.
Well, when I first moved south in 2005, I was a free agent. I was looking at Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Texas, Texas Tech, Texas A&M, LSU, Alabama, and I stumbled across Arkansas. And I started watching their football, baseball, and basketball programs. And I wanted to, whoever I loved, I wanted to be able to love all three. And I focused everything on Arkansas. And I've been a fan. So it's been, 12 years now? And I've been a Woo Pig Sooie fan ever since. Then when I lived in Razorback land, that was even more awesome. I got to actually go see him play against Georgia.
Yeah. I was in Little Rock when Arkansas won the SEC tournament. What year was that? You were probably...
For baseball or for football?
For basketball.
Or basketball. Oh, with Nolan Richardson?
Yeah.
Okay, 1991?
Was it that long ago?
It was in the 90s. It was maybe 98.
I was trying to remember, were they in the SEC when they won the national title? Because
I believe that they were.
2 years in a row into the game. Yeah, I
40 minutes of hell.
Because there's a friend of mine, Barely Doug, who's local, and I got to come to his house to watch Missouri play Arkansas the year Missouri clinched the ACC East for the first time. And the Arkansas fans actually act like they beat Missouri after that game because they had the lead. Missouri came back. Next year, they plowed them. Like, I didn't even want to watch. And last year, I was invited to his house, but I was like, there's no way. And then Missouri managed to beat them, so they actually had, like, a couple of decent games. But I like that Missouri and Arkansas, like, have a rivalry because they should. I mean, they're right next to each other.
Yeah, but it's a forced rivalry. It's like LSU with the boot. That was a natural rivalry. But then they forced the Missouri-Arkansas rivalry because they're across the state line, and they didn't make it a boot because it doesn't even look like, who the fuck? It's a blob. Like,
it's a blob.
What? Yeah, so you get the blob trophy. But you guys have one of our running backs. You've got a Little Rock guy, Damaria Crockett. He was a freshman last year, and he was pretty good.
He is very good. He got Missouri fans.
He's a little bastard off the field, though. He's just
have a bit of a problem getting caught smoking pot like in their cars.
Yeah,
happened at PGB a couple times, and like Crockett ran for like 7,000 yards against Tennessee. I mean, the whole Missouri team had like 900 yards against Tennessee. And then it's like, oh, he's having this great freshman year, and then he got like suspended. Yeah. That's another reason why I was surprised they won, because they didn't have their only good player.
But did you know that the Razorbacks didn't even look at him?
Wow.
He's a Little Rock native,
Boise State guy.
He was going to go to Boise State, and then he ended up pulling that and going to Missouri instead.
Nice call. Well. You know.
Well, he sounds like a perfect
Yeah, exactly. He didn't even get recruited by the Razorbacks. Hometown boy, Little Rock boy, and didn't even get recruited. So that told me everything I needed to know about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little bit like the SEC, because I get to hang out. You know, I got Sharona, I got my father-in-law, I got my brother-in-law. They're all UT guys. So every single damn vacation we're at the beach, it's like, we signed this 4-star guy. I'm like, Missouri don't know what 4-star. Missouri didn't know we'd go over 3 stars for players.
Yep.
Because last year Missouri grabbed some guy who was like a South Alabama guy at the last minute, some like super fast but like 5'6" dude, because that's what they have to do. It's
5'6" speed or 5'6" height, or 5'6" around.
He was like 5'6", 150, and I don't even know if he played because he's very, very small. I mean, you think of very small guys like Tyreek Hill in the NFL, and then you think like in college they get smaller. But yeah, it's good to know. And then another Arkansas connection, and we can chat when the LSU Arkansas game did seem like an event. The Arkansas Missouri game is kind of like, all right, let's finish the season up. What 7-5 bowl game is Arkansas going to go to? At least their coach looks like an SEC coach, man.
Yeah, I like Bielema. What I like the most about him, he really cares about the kids, and he really cares about the off-field and their academics. He wants them to graduate. So while we may not get the Alabama 5 stars and we may not get all the great guys like LSU and Auburn, Arkansas for what they get, and we really don't sniff a lot of 5-star. We're lucky to get some 4-star guys, and we just signed a couple local guys that are 4-star. One is an offensive lineman, and really nice to see him staying in state. But Corey Davis was a 3-star athlete, and he was a top 10 NFL pick. So really, the stars don't mean jack. It's what do you have inside your heart, and can you learn? Can you get bigger? Can you achieve and believe it? And it's all about working.
Well, talking of work now, it's tough to do a dynasty league because you're thinking about a bunch of things. Like you want to win now, but then you want to pick up guys who you think will develop over time. What's it like doing like a devy type league where you're looking at players who are like freshmen in college and beyond?
It's really like everybody's looking for the shiny new toy. And so with devy leagues, depending on how deep you go and how deep your taxi squad is, I'm in leagues where you have one devy player, and I'm in leagues where we have up to 30 devy players with a 30-man taxi squad, and you can draft till your heart's content on how many guys that you want to get. And then I'm somewhere in the middle with 3 to 6, 7 type, and they're all fun. But the main thing to keep focused on with a developmental devy league is they're still in college. And so I would not pass up a first-round NFL pick. Like, people are trading Todd Gurley right now for like Cam Akers and a couple of other picks. And it's like, really? Todd Gurley was a top 15 NFL draft. He's on a lousy team and he's got a bad situation, but he is a talented dude. And you can't just trade him for somebody that may be talented 3 years from now. He could end up with a career-ending injury. He could end up, being busted for something that you just don't know about, and then he's out of the league. So as much as I love college players, you have to try to balance, and you've got to be patient, because if you want to take a guy that's still in college and you're going to sit there and hold him for 2 or 3 years, you've got to either know when to trade him or keep him for the long haul if you think that he's going to be the stud that you think he's going to be.
So, Katie, you kind of came into the fantasy game, I don't want to say late in life, but, a little bit later. What drew you in? How did you get involved?
I started in redraft leagues in 2012, and I absolutely sucked my first year because I had 6 hours to get ready for the first draft and had the ESPN Matt Berry. I read his manifesto, his draft day manifesto, and I took it to heart, and I drafted Jamal Charles and Steve, the LA Rams running back. I can't even think of his last name now. The big dude. Yeah, Steve Jackson. I had those two as my main running backs, and that was the year that Steven Jackson got hurt and Jamal Charles got hurt. And I had Torrey Smith, and what an up and down year he had. But anyway, I'm very competitive, and I've loved sports my whole life, so I didn't let that sway me.
Good.
I just let that spur me on to get better in the off season, and nobody traded during that season. There were no trades in redraft, so it really, I couldn't get my team better, and everybody seemed to know the waiver wire before I did. Like, they were all jumping on these guys long before I would even think. And I'm like, how do they know who to take off the waiver wire? Like, there's got to be some kind of method to this. So during the off season in 2013, I did a lot of mock drafts. I did a lot of reading. I did a lot of research, and I came back and I played in like 20 redraft leagues in 2013, and I won the championship in several of them. And then I started just getting better. I started reading different sites, and by 2014, I'm in a mock ESPN draft room, and this one guy's talking about filling 2 roster spots or 2 owner orphan teams. He was trying to find some owners for Dynasty. And this one guy was talking to him, and you can watch the conversation in the chat. And this one guy was engaged with him talking, and I was just kind of casually watching while we were doing our mock draft. And I was like, wow, that sounds really interesting. You get to actually keep the players from when they're a rookie on, and you get to, if you're good at scouting, then you can develop your team and keep the same guys over and over again. And there's more trades and there's more. It just sounded like there was a lot more to do. And I said, I'll take the second team. I'll let this guy Ben, take whichever team he wants. I'll take the other team. And so Mike, the commissioner, filled both teams right there, just in that ESPN mock room.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that was in June of 2014, and that's when I started. As soon as I took over the orphan team, I started Googling Dynasty and Fantasy Football Dynasty, and started looking at different sites. And that's when I discovered Under the Helmet, and I started reading their articles, and I said, wow, this makes so much sense to me. Just my analytical mind, and I had read other sites, and that one I latched onto, and I started listening to their podcast, and I started listening to their advice, and I started building from there. But my first year, I think I was in 18 or 20 dynasty leagues, because I'm one of those, I'll just go all in. I want to learn. The only way to learn all the different formats, IDP and all the others, is just get in and do it. Devy leagues, get in and do it. And if you stink, then you get a good rookie pick, and you just keep on going. You pick up and you make trades, and you make your team better. There's no team that stinks so bad that you can't turn them around. I've taken some really lousy orphans just for the fun of turning them around. I had one orphan team. It was a 16-team league, and it was a super flex. And I had Colt McCoy at quarterback. That's it. I had Des Bryant, and I ended up trading Des Bryant for the rookie 101, which was Amari Cooper that year, and a couple of other pieces, I think Jarvis Landry and somebody else. And then I ended up trading Jarvis Landry for somebody, and I got Jameis Winston in at the 105 that year, and he's become a stalwart for my Superflex team. So I've rebuilt that stupid, lousy orphan team. This year, I've got Jameis Winston, and I can't remember who my second quarterback is, but I actually have 3 quarterbacks now, and I have a decent wide receiver core. I've got decent running backs, but you can rebuild very easily if you know what you're doing. So that's what got me into Dynasty, was just being in a mock draft, redraft in June, because I'm such a degenerate.
That seems like a good time, man. That's when. Because this time of year is really, everybody's kind of kicking back. Like even like the football writers are, taking some time off, because we're kind of mini camps are over and we're waiting for it to start. But I really think, the Scott Fish Bowl is coming up.
Most of them are unemployed.
Like July 4th. Yeah, they're. It's a weird world, because Scott Fish just got a fantasy gig, and it's like there's still some people making a living. It's just not as many.
Where did Scott get a fantasy gig?
No, I wish I had seen, but it was.
I didn't. I've been on vacation this week and working on.
It was all over the Twitters, because we talked to him.
I did see something about it, but I don't remember.
A while back, and he was like delivering, like driving a Pepsi truck or something, and just working crazy hours. And I guess he found a fantasy football gig, so it's a little less crazy. Yeah,
That's cool.
The Scott Fish mock I'm doing right now. I took Aaron Rodgers number 2. Nobody else is taking a quarterback. We're at pick 11. I'm kind of surprised.
Wow.
But this is a mock. You just don't know what to expect. But most people in these mocks, actually, Jody Smith's in there. Oh,
I hear they're going pretty slow. Are they going slow?
We just started today. So.
I want a time mock. I don't want to. I don't have time to do a 3-week-long mock.
It should be one that's. It'll probably take a week or 2. I'm trying to find which one is.
I should probably.
The one I did before.
Do like 5 tomorrow. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, it's good to prep, and I'm glad that we have the degenerate crowd that's out there that's like, oh yeah, we can mock, because every league league is not like any other. I mean, I'm in the one he does that has the 4 different leagues, and you can be moved up and moved down. I actually got moved up 2 leagues, so I'm up from 4 to 2, but it's very similar to Scott Fish Bowl scoring, which is nice. And that league is best ball. Like you draft, when Scott Fish Bowl's over, we draft that league, and it's like mid-June, and then it's best ball, and you have no waivers. At least with Scott Fish Bowl, you can make a couple of desperation moves, because we know there's not much out there after that draft's over, because it's only 4 positions, and they're 22 rounds, and you get $100, and you gotta roll pretty quick. So, man, we're like 42 minutes in, and we have not gotten the reaction to the big free agent signing of the week. Eric Decker goes to the Titans. There you go.
Sharona's loving on you.
Number one.
You're number one in her heart.
Eric Decker visits the Titans. Titans say, go on. Titans are trying to be the Patriots South. Like, you'll come back. You got the scent. You know what's happening. And he came back, and it wasn't even that much of a contract. Like, it's $3.85 million. There's some incentives involved. But for a receiver, that's not bad. So I want to hear the Sharona reaction to Eric Decker to the Titans. I'm excited.
I honestly didn't know what the contract terms were, and that's pretty cheap, so I can't hate too much, except that with someone...
Like $1.5 million more than freaking Harry Douglas.
Hold on just a second. Can I please finish? Except that would someone please tell John Robinson that there's this little thing called a fucking defense that he really needs to pay attention to?
Well, we thought that about Dallas, but once they got Zeke Elliott, then they didn't need a defense because they were always on offense.
Well, I don't ascribe to that theory, and Dallas didn't make it to the Super Bowl. Defense still
that's true.
Defense still wins champions.
It's something to watch.
You know, the Patriots. I really think. I know you're a Patriots fan.
I think it was the Atlanta Falcons defense that kind of fell asleep. They were worked so hard. They were so tired in the fourth quarter that they allowed the Patriots to own them.
The Patriots defense was really, I thought, underrated last season, and
they're always underrated.
So much better than I expected, and
we just got David Harris from the Jets.
Yeah, you really got to give it
nice veteran presence.
You got to really give it up to their defense. They had a kick-ass defense. They
re-signed Donta Hightower. They kept Malcolm Butler in check and didn't trade him to the Saints.
Well.
I mean, they had Blunt, and everybody's like, well, he led the league in touchdowns. And they're like, they're actually going to get it. They're going to get it.
Side Gillisley, and
they had like 5 running backs. They're paying like $3 million this year or something. Just weird.
Bill Belichick is like,
but it's going to work. It's just
he's
just
about it.
Puppet master.
Yeah, give me a running back. I know what to do with them. You know, I never ever draft a Patriots running back ever.
Well, I mean, in best ball, it's a good thing. And also, it's really, they're so cheap that it's not a bad idea to have a couple stash. You know, somebody's going to have a hot hand and one injury, and one of them can take over and really help your fantasy team.
You know, I don't like having to hold on to a guy like that and not knowing. And
okay. So you're one of those impatient owners that I could take advantage of. I like
probably, yeah. I mean, yeah. As you know from the bet situation, I'm very easily taken advantage of.
Yeah, Evan Ingram just has to have 451 yards this year. And
Zach. Zach, you are the bet master. You're the bet keeper.
I wrote it down. Not that I'm going to remember.
Katie, let's do our bet. Let's set the parameters of the bet. And
I thought we already did.
Well, the over and under, what is it, 400 yards, 450? 450. So I'm taking the under.
Just do the one thing, the orbit touchdowns, or one stat. It's easy.
Okay, yards. We'll do the yards.
I just want to know what last year's bet was, because I don't remember.
Who knows?
Somebody knows, right?
I was running my mouth. It doesn't matter.
It was
we were all running our mouth.
The bet is
Imagine
has to rewatch the 4 hours of us being drunk. I do have this year.
Do you?
We've done the draft 2 years in a row, like on a Wednesday night, and some of us, have to work the next day, so we might do it on a weekend this year, like something. either something crazy, like let's do it Sunday at 1 o'clock, like the NFL, and then we'll be done way before dinner time, or just do it like on a Friday or Saturday, just
You really need to get on that and decide. And
yeah, it's true. I need to start booking.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was an Abby bet, and I couldn't even think of a good Abby to have you put on your Twitter, so I never even enforced it. But
I'm gonna have to do the
Jerry Jones. Would that be a good one?
No.
How about a Peyton Manning sucks, Abby?
I would do that.
She's like, it's gotta be a little painful, right? Jerry Jones with his $500, glass of, scotch or something. And I'm looking good. He's looking good.
I draw the line at Jerry Jones or Ben Roethlisberger.
Everything else is fair game.
Yeah.
Help me out, Zach. What can we do?
Jerry Jones.
Jerry.
Who else?
How about a Bill Belichick? You got to have a
Bill
Belichick.
Bill. I would do a Bill. Yeah. No, I respect the hell out of Bill. I'm not the biggest Tom Brady fan, but I respect the hell out of Bill Belichick. I do. I think
it was funny. I was living in Maine at the time when Belichick came to the Patriots, and I remember the Boston papers were ripping him because he did nothing in Cleveland. He was a defensive coach. He did nothing in Cleveland. He's just it's like they were saying Bill a chick, like he's a girl, and it's like, well, there's nothing wrong with being a woman. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, are you trying to diss Bill or women? Which are you trying to do here? But he was phenomenal, and it still is. I love that guy.
I have, for a long time, I was like, well, he's the greatest coach of our generation. No, I think legitimately he's the greatest coach of all time. I do. It's hard to beat just
he's
because
the GOAT.
I watched that Chuck Noll one on the NFL Network, he put together these crazy teams in the 70s, but in the 80s, the Steelers just did not have the top level talent. The Patriots won those Super Bowls. They won 2 out of 3, and then 11 years later, or 3 out of 5, 3 out of 4 years they won, and then 11 years later they win. They won 2 out of 3 or 2 out of 4, so they've won 5. That's hard to beat. And really, how many times have the Patriots not been in the AFC Championship game in the last 15 years? Like 3 times?
Well, the one year that they were forced to start Matt Flynn and went 11-5, and they still didn't make the playoffs.
Matt Castle, baby.
Matt Castle. I'm sorry.
There are 2 years since Brady's been in the NFL they made the playoffs, and it was the second year after they had won the Super Bowl, and then the year he tore his ACL in week 1. And he was a first-round pick in a lot of fantasy drafts. I mean, at least Lisa London's in a bunch of leagues. What do you think? The K-ball curse.
Are we doing over it or not?
Well, I didn't actually come up with any, so yeah. Okay. Over it or not?
I'm sorry that I haven't. I'm sorry that I haven't done a podcast to give you quotes out of context.
I know. Help me out here.
I've been slacking. I've really kind of enjoyed my time off. I have.
Not a horrible thing, because
it's not a horrible thing. Up. I did some rearranging. You probably can't. I don't know. You probably can't see. I don't know. I've got a quilt on
lava lamp.
Yeah, I've got 3 lava lamps. Oh my God, I've got 3 of them now. I love them. You can't see the best ones. I don't like that one right there. Let me show you one of my good ones. Hold on. Where's
the patchouli?
Hang on. I don't even know what that is.
We've been since gone.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I'll ask this of Katie. I asked
my
Lisa.
Favorite. Can you see it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a lightsaber.
I asked Lisa the tough question of the week, so I get to ask you a tough question of the week.
All right.
Will any fantasy expert say that Matt Ryan isn't overrated this year?
No.
Because pretty much everybody's like, yeah, last year he had career year, so he won't this year. And everybody's like, yeah.
Who said that?
I don't know is he actually going in the range where he went last year? I mean, what is he going quarterback? Is he quarterback 5 or something this year in drafts?
No,
still kind of early.
He's still in Dynasty. He's probably somewhere around QB 12 off the board. But it depends because anywhere from 8 to 12 range.
Oh, well, I'll ask a question about my own Dynasty team. Why not? So DeMarco Murray, I have in my team. Should I get rid of him now since he's getting up there? I mean, I know Chad Parsons doesn't like anybody who's over 24. I don't know if you're going with that ageism kind of thing that he's into.
It depends on where your team is. Are you going to be contending for a championship?
2 pick this year, so
you're stuck.
I had Cam. I took McCaffrey number 2. I know his touchdown upside isn't that great, but I feel like he's going to get a lot of touches this year.
I like it.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I didn't take Kamara number 2. I got Shaheen.
No, I wouldn't do that.
I got Shaheen in the 4th round at least. That's something.
I've seen Shaheen anywhere from late 2nd all the way to the 6th round. But as far as DeMarco Murray, I would wait until the beginning of the season because you can't really sell running backs in the off season that well. Or most people aren't buying unless you can find somebody that's looking to make a deal.
There's a sucker born every day.
Right, exactly. I mean, I would continue to shop him between now and training camp, and especially if he starts getting any kind of buzz. People are going to be a little bit skeptical because you got Derrick Henry, 2nd year, right behind him. They know that he's getting a little bit on the older, but if you can find a contender that is lacking in running back and you can strike some kind of a deal, that may not be a bad idea because you're not, unless your guys were just all hurt last year and that's why you came in 2nd to the last.
Or you traded for that pick. How did you get that pick?
My team was pretty bad.
Oh, okay.
Cam was a disaster. My defense was a disaster. My tight end sucked. Yeah, I had decent wide receivers, but yeah, it didn't go so well. It was a rebuilding year.
Yeah, in any league where I'm rebuilding, I would sell Murray for the top dollar that you can get, but it's easier to sell him once he starts getting some buzz and starts doing something. Off season is not a good time to sell a running back or an older running back.
You almost need like Derrick Henry to get hurt, or
don't say that.
Murray to get like 30 touches the first 2 weeks,
or you see a Roto World post where Malarkey is saying we are gonna stick with Murray as our RB1. He's gonna be our bell cow, just like they did last year, and then you can take him to the bank.
They got rid of Sharona's buddy Dexter McCluster. Really helped. But go ahead.
True story. When there were all those reports coming out that Rashard Matthews was going to be benched and blah 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 blah, I went out and got him. I got him in our Yahoo Fantasy League, and
talk with your hands. Yeah, and you Tennessee tightened it in the playoffs and lost in the 1st round. Sorry.
And everybody,
you have to be pretty old to remember when the Titans actually were good and would lose in the playoffs. You know,
everybody struggled in that Week 15 game. I wasn't the only one who
that is one of the downsides of fantasy. Like, you have one bad week, because that's what happened to me at Scott Fishbowl. I had the bad week, first week of the playoffs, because I somehow forgot Travis Kelce was on my team and didn't start him because he was in the Thursday night game. He went pick number 11 in our league. That was kind of crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's not cheap this year.
No, and
I went tight end heavy. I went tight end heavy last year. I don't know if I'll do that. I took like 4 tight ends in the first 9 picks, and then finally kind of came around because tight ends.
No, I think you should keep that same strategy.
I do too.
I think you should go with 6 tight ends in a row.
Yes, absolutely.
I think you should go all rookie tight ends in a row.
What division are you in?
Yes, I'm in the. Well, yeah, you're in a different one than us because we're in Tinkerbell.
I know we're Tinkerbell. What are you in, Katie?
I don't remember. I know I'm in one of them, and I think I'm in the 7th overall draft spot. So
okay,
I don't look at it that closely until it's close to time.
It's hard to keep up with everything.
I think it's a wonderful the charity events that he puts on, and the ones that John Bosch were participating. Tim Torch and I are co-owners. UTH against everybody. They're trying to eliminate us in a best ball format. John Bosch is putting it on. It's for Fantasy Cares. Yeah, $10 for each person to buy in. We filled faster than any other. That means people are trying to beat us. Bring it. We're even going for 2. Yeah, and so if Tim and I win, we're just going to donate it back. You know, if we win anything, we'll when we win something, we'll just donate it back to Fantasy Cares because it's such a good charity and it's such a great event. Is. So hats off to Scott Fish and John Bosch for all they do for raising for charity.
Absolutely.
It's nice to give back.
Yep.
So I'll look up who was in last year's auction league and see if everybody wants to join back in. And I do like it relatively closer to the season, but you know, it's late August. Yeah. It's not that far away. We're almost in July. I mean, it's June.
That's right. It's getting closer every minute.
Okay, so back to the
Christmas.
Bet. Back to the bet.
You already made a bet.
I took the under, and if I lose, I have to wear a Bill Belichick avatar for how long?
No. That was the Bill Belichick avatar was for the Abby bet that we made for Tajay Sharp last year.
Oh, okay. How long do you want me to wear it?
Trying to make a lot of Tajay Sharp bets last year.
Yeah.
I should get you a jersey before he's cut.
I don't know. What's normal? 2 weeks? Is that
no? A day.
A day? Okay. All right. Then a day.
You actually have to post though.
I will. I promise.
And you got to say that this is why.
Katie, you get to pick it out. You get to pick out whatever Bill Belichick avatar you want me to wear, and I will wear it for a full 24 hours, and I will promise to tweet a lot that day and remind everybody why I'm wearing that.
Okay, and then you can say you're looking forward to the same thing for next year because Evan Ingram is going to get 451 yards or 450. It doesn't matter because you got the under.
30 yards a game. That's
Giants are going to be forced to play whatever lame-ass quarterback they want to draft, and it's going to be a clusterfuck, and they're going to suck.
The Giants had a really good defense last year, and I don't know if Brandon Marshall – the same thing with Eric Decker of the Titans. You don't know what Brandon Marshall has left. You don't know what Eric Decker has left. With the Titans,
he's coming off an injury, and he's
the one thing that's cool about Marcus Mariota is the guys he threw to in college are going to be working for the UPS right now. He throws it to whoever's open. And I know the one reason why Sharona doesn't like the Eric Decker signing is because Eric Decker plays the slot. You know who else plays slot for the Titans? Delaney Walker. Uh-oh.
There's a lot of mouths to feed.
Be just fine on the offense. Yeah, any Titans receiver this year is kind of like Patriots running back. Like you hope.
I'm avoiding the Titans offense this year. It's like it scares me. I'm like, I'm out.
True. I do want to show off this for other sports. I attended the Atlanta United soccer game last weekend with a friend of mine, and he got me. Because they do scarves.
Oh, I like it.
This is the Pride scarf, and they're only they actually are out. So I got one of the last ones.
I want one.
And I went to a Major League Soccer game in the middle of the season, and we tailgated 4 hours before, and I should have brought more beer because I drank it all. And then we went to the game, and before the game, people were going nuts like a college, like an SEC scene. It's at Bobby Dodd Stadium in Georgia Tech, so they get to see what a sold-out stadium looks like because they don't during football season. And they sold out every game they've had so far, and they won, and we chanted the whole time. We stood up the whole time. I got yelled at because I talked too loud at a Tennessee game a few years ago. Yeah, that's not going to happen anymore. I enjoy Missouri's short win streak over Tennessee. It's going to be a while till that happens again. But, yeah, should we have any – I mean, maybe not an avatar bet, but – when and how much is Mariota's next contract going to be with the Titans? Will they sign him to a deal next year because they have the 5th-year option, or will they wait till the next year because they got to give another one of Sharona's favorite players, Taylor Lewan, an extension next year? Yeah.
They're going to wait until he's in his 4th year.
I don't blame him for that, but the price is going to go up. So will it be $30 million a year at that point? I mean, 2 years? I think it's possible. He doesn't even drink, man. How's he going to spend the money? What's he going to do? Tiki torches?
He's going to buy Lay's. He's going to get Lay's.
He's got no... I don't even know.
Anybody that's got to pay for that? Man.
I'm sure he's getting all the offers he can handle. I approve of him flying under the radar and being... No, well, that too. Whatever.
He's not going shirtless at a club like Vince Young.
Just wear a condom, Marcus. I don't mind.
Why, you don't want any little Marcuses around?
Well, I don't want any baby mama drama. How that
And you
works.
don't want any diseases, anything that could affect his
Exactly. Other than that,
he's so clean cut. He looks like a Boy Scout, doesn't he?
He really does. I mean, he's like, you just want to hug him. He's just like, I approve of him being low key and under the radar. That's good.
It's all good. So who's doing better this year, Patriots or Cowboys?
Patriots.
Probably straight up right there.
Oh yeah, easily. They added. Look at all they added this year. They got Brandon Cooks. He's doing fantastic, which we all knew he would. And They've got Dwight Allen. He's nice backup for Gronkowski. I'm Dwayne Allen. I'm sorry. And then
we should make a bet on Gronk.
On Gronk?
Because I say,
how many girls does he get pregnant this year?
No, because I don't. Listen, ladies.
Gronk, wear a condom.
Gronk wears like a full body condom.
Ladies,
yeah, he probably does.
Ladies, if you're gonna touch that icky, skanky.
Oh, stop.
Ick.
I think Sharona's slut shaming.
Yeah, it's like.
Encase yourself in plastic before you.
Oh my gosh!
Drinking really crappy beer. I mean, Boston is
wear
such
a dental dam.
Boston has such great beer that he should not be drinking Bud Light. I'm just saying, he's got to, he's you're better than that, man. How is that dragon's milk for someone who has been?
It's good. I'm buzzed.
Dragon's milk is.
See, I'm making bets.
I might pick some up. I know. See.
So what were you going to ask about Gronk? You were about to make a bet or.
What's the over? Okay, I say Gronk will not play more than 5 games.
Oh, I'll take the over.
Okay.
It's on. Bring it.
It's on like Donkey Kong.
But 5 games is what the cutoff is?
That's it, man. She's light. She's easy.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll take the
I
over.
might be easy, but I wouldn't touch Gronk's skanky ass.
It's a beer and a half.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. But it's not normal beer. It's some strong stuff.
It is.
I haven't tried that yet. I need to.
That Dragon's Milk is barely
like 11%.
And it's year-round, too, which is nice because Founders does a Kentucky Bourbon Stout. Good. It's just very good, but it's hard to find.
It's good. I'm totally buzzed.
Yeah. So when does Back Talk, does it return this week, or are you going to make some promises?
I didn't fulfill my I know, imagine that. I didn't fulfill my last couple of promises. What is it? It's June 22nd. Many training camps start in about 3 weeks. I promise to come back on or a little bit before training camp. Okay,
sounds good. So, Katie, what do you have going? What's happening with UTH, and when's the content really cranking up? Probably already started, right?
Oh yeah, we've been continuous. We had
no off season. She knows it.
Yeah, there is no off season in Dynasty. So we went to the Senior Bowl, which was a fantastic time.
Oh, hi.
Oh, we're getting drinks delivered to you. That's awesome.
Yeah, right? Yeah. That's my helper. He's been helping me with my kitchen island, and I got to drive him home here in just a little bit, so I'm not drinking too much. He is, yep. And his older brother was helping me the last few days, and now he's down in Austin. He's helping his grandmother move this weekend. So I got the 2 boys. I've been feeding them well, taking good care of them, let them swim in my pool after the hot day. Although he didn't bring his swim trunks today.
I want to come swim in your pool.
You can. Next time you're in Dallas, look me up.
I'm telling you, Dallas road trip.
There you go. Absolutely. It's going to be a fun time. But anyway, so yeah, we went to the Senior Bowl. We did the live NFL draft podcast. We've been doing a lot of premium content, writing, as well as the premium podcasts. I've been doing a lot of devy work in the off season, tons of devy drafts, and just so much fun, and just the regular every week podcast. So I'm going to be traveling a lot. I'll be taking the show on the road, as they say. Yeah.
Katie, you're such a fantastic resource to the fantasy community. I'm so glad you're able to join us.
Thank you for having me. It's so much fun.
And we'll have you school us again in the auction. Although we'll probably we'll do it in a weekend so we can really do it. Right.
Yeah, there you go. Although this time I think I might draft more than one defense.
Well, it worked for you.
It did. I had the Vikings, if anybody wants to know, and other than their bye week, they scored like crazy. And so yeah, that worked because I was able to get extra running backs because I didn't have too many defenses.
Yeah. Hey, that's a strategy to think about.
Every strategy is good when it works.
I call it the zero defense strategy.
There you go. You should patent that.
I will. I have officially trademarked it as of tonight.
Just once having, if I have my friend Don in one of these leagues, I have to have defense and kicker because he always drafts them early, and I just can't pass on those things. I just want people to have the option to come on and hang out with us. Next week we'll have to figure out a night because I can't, I'm actually working, doing a work thing next Wednesday, so we'll have to pick a different night.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Katie. I got confused. I thought it was
I told Sharona next
Oh.
week on Wednesday I'm out, but you know what? You couldn't make it last night, which is fine. You're tonight. It was great to have you, not in a drunken draft situation, just hanging out after a tough day in the Dallas sun.
Yes.
So thank you for being on, and of course, Sharona as usual. And as we like to say at the end, Zach_Law, because I, like to retweet good people. And good night, and kiss my grits.